star. Alright. Not sure. Kind of a video on why to prepare. Why prepare for tomorrow? And the reason I'm making this is I was able to pick this up a few minutes ago. This is 1,000 small pistol primers. I paid $38.99 for it, 39 bucks. And wasn't even looking for it. I went into a hardware store yesterday in a little town I was raised in. I just happened to be passing through and need some stain, well actually polyurethane. I was working on a little wood project. And I was like, okay, let me just stop in the hardware store here. Knew it'd be a few bucks more, no problem. Save me a trip to town. And as I walked by, I mean, they always had ammo, but it, it had a little section like this. There'd be a little bit of ammo in there. Hadn't even thought about going in there to check for ammo or anything. And this was sitting on the shelf. And I was like a deer in the headlights. You cannot buy primers right now. And he had 1,000 of these sitting on the shelf. Now they were small pistol, not what I really was. I don't know. I would rather it have been something else, but at the same time I was happy to see them. But it threw me off so bad that I didn't buy them. I was like a deer in the headlights. I was just like, maybe I'm dreaming this. I don't know. But anyway. And like I said, this is the third gun scare I've been through, ammo scare. Definitely back during the Brady Bill, there was a primer scare, and I stocked up a good bit then. And I've kind of diminished my supplies, and I've tried to replace them, but you get into that comfort zone when you can just go buy it on, it's on the shelf. You just go buy it, and you quit stocking up on it, But I did have the insight to make sure I always had a little bit of everything stocked up. And in the past year, I've probably only bought a few thousand primers because I already had, a little bit built up. But it was still on the shelf until, January. But this is why we prepare. I've been through it before. And so I have tried to, I won't say and believe it or not, with all this right here, I don't feel I'm stocked up enough. I don't know if that sounds greedy or like a hoarder or whatever, but at the same time, I like to shoot guns. I shoot a good bit. I mean, hell, if I piled up my empty boxes I've done in the last 10, 15 years, it probably stacked up behind me, But this is what I have right now. And the fact that you can't buy any more has curbed my shooting a good bit. And this is a lot of primers, don't get me wrong. This is some primer porn right here. I'm sure those guys just, drooling right now. And I counted it up. This is 10,200 primers of different, caliber type, rifle, pistol, shotgun, whatever. But it's kind of a, I know it's hindsight, maybe I'm preaching to the choir, but this is why we prepare. It's no different with food, water, seeds for gardens. This is why you do it, because tomorrow you may not be able to go into the store and buy it. And that's what threw me off about this. I mean, you can't go online or anything. You can back order stuff, and me and my buddy was already planned on doing a big order, even though we knew we was going to back order it, and split it up, and kind of, get a savings by doing that. But in the meantime, I come across that, and I had to call him and consult him. I was like, man, you need any small pistol primers? And he's like, no, I'm good. I got a couple thousand. I was like, yeah, I do too, but there's a store in town there's got primers. And he was like, well, damn, go back and get them. And I was like, yeah, I kind of feel like I need to. He's like, man, bird in the hand. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and get them. So that puts me damn near at 4,000 rounds of small pistol, you know. So I was like, yeah, why not? I'd like to have more small rifle and large pistol. That's what I shoot the most of. But regardless, it don't matter. This is why we prep. This is why we put back. And when I say put back, and any of you guys been reloading a while, and I'm sure there's a few of you. You remember these? These little boxes of CCI, what they used to look like? Those are full. These ain't empty boxes. Same thing with this Winchester. I mean, you can see how they changed their boxes. Well, that's shot shell. But anyway, I bought these back in the 90s, you know. Well, matter of fact, here's like 3 generations of different Winchester boxes. Let me open this up right quick. Try not to prolong the video, but when I started reloading, that's what a Winchester box looked like. Then they went to that, and now they like that. So I've been buying this stuff for a while, and I will continue to buy. And if everything works out like it did in the past, as long as the shit don't hit the fan soon, you will be able to go to the store and buy this again. You will be able to go to the store and buy ammunition, 9mm, 223, 22 long rifle. Now the 22 long rifle threw me off. I did not see that coming. I mean, I'm still amazed at that. But anyway, but lesson learned. And I kind of learned my lesson in the past. When the Brady bill came out is when the primer scare that I was aware of, that I paid attention to, because I was reloading and shooting a lot then. And that's what got me to start. I was prepping for it before there was a term prepper. There was no term prepper. Stuff in the woods back there. Anyway, now I wasn't doing the food and water and all that stuff, but I knew it was like, ooh, can't let that happen again. I'm gonna have to make sure I got some stuff on the shelf in case that happens again. I can go a year without being able to buy anymore. And now with my mentality, it's like, well, I need to, and I'll never be able to do it. Nobody will, not unless you're rich. Buy enough to last my life. You know, what if I can't ever buy it again? What if the lights go out tomorrow? Probably not, but what if they did? You know? And I had that mentality before I kind of got politically awakened. I mean, back in the 90s, I was really paying attention to gun laws and stuff like that, but that's all I paid attention to. And I kind of got involved in politics in the last few years and really taking in what's going on, and it's made me, what I'm doing with my primers and powder, I'm doing with everything in my life now. And I hope it's for nothing. I hope it's for, you know, so people can look back and say, damn, that damn guy, he was just stupid buying all that stuff, you know. But like I tell everybody else, the worst that can happen by preparing for tomorrow is I'll have primers to reload shells with, ammunition with, and I can shoot with my food preps. I'll have food down the road. Just say I paid $5 for it today. If you've been paying attention to food prices, just a year or two from now, it's going to be $10. Because in the last 10 years, everything has tripled. There's very few things that have not tripled in price. These have tripled in price. When I first started reloading, it was like $10 a 1,000. Now it's 30-something bucks, $40 a 1,000. You know, everything's going up. So the worst case scenario is I will have ammunition to target shoot, train, whatever you want to call it, plank, you know, go skeet shooting, shoot some skeets. A lot of fun. If you ain't never done it, try it. On my food. The worst thing that can happen is I'll have food years from now that I won't have to pay for. It's already bought and paid for at a much cheaper price than it'll cost me down the road. So this is why we prep. This is why I prep. It's not so much I'm preparing for when the shit hits the fan, but I'm also preparing to I'm going to save money. That's the worst thing that can happen is I will save money. You know, and that's what I tell people. You know, I've had several people ask me, well, what are you going to do with all that food if nothing happens? I'll be able to eat. You know, I'll eat. I'll have food. That's the worst thing that can happen is I'll have food. How bad is that? So if somebody wants to call me a conspiracy theorist or crazy or a prepper or whatever you want to call me, I really don't give a damn. Because the worst thing that can happen is I got stuff, you know. I have a few things that might be a little bit out of the ordinary, gas masks, stuff like that, but that ain't what I spend my money on. I spend my money on food, ammunition, you know, ways to store water, garden, seeds. Invested in a wood stove so I can heat my home with wood and not pay Duke Power for their electricity to heat my house. I'll heat my house on my own. That's worst case scenario. I'm saving money. So, anyway, my little rant for today, I guess, or whatever it is, and a little bit of primer porn. I know you guys would love to get a hold of this. Anyway, see you guys later.